Hey guys, and welcome back to the Donkey Kong Jungle Beat playthrough. In this part, we've got racing. Yeah.
I thought we were done.
Nope. Um, nope. Just no.
Fair
for,
enough.
for some reason in the fourth Kingdom Barrel, almost every single level starts with a race, and I'm not sure why. But if you want to platinum these missions, since I'm pretty sure there aren't an awful lot of extra bananas you can get in the race, you're gonna want to win. So yeah, race to win.
Well, for some reason, I thought you were going to say, like, in order to get platinum in the race, you have to transcend beyond first place.
Oh no, I'm talking about a platinum medal overall in the kingdom. If you can beat the level without winning the race, you just get a smaller beat bonus. So if you just care about like beating the game or beating all the levels, you don't have to care about how well you do in the race. You're obviously going to gain the most speed when you're going straight down as Donkey Kong, just due to the way that he spins. When you're swimming as Donkey Kong, you have to like alternate left and right to go as fast as you can, and that makes you go straight down. So take advantage of parts where you're not going left and right to sort of pull ahead of the other racers. But you know, now that incredibly short level is over, we can get our Castlevania on.
Oh, yeah. In fact, this does look like Castlevania. Something disturbingly out of Mirror of Fate HD, in fact, and I don't really like that game much.
Why is it all the brown?
Well, it does remind me of the first outdoor area, yeah, but what I actually don't like about that game is how it tries to pass itself off as being more like old school Castlevania without actually being like old school Castlevania at all.
Now the Mirror of Fate, that's the 3DS game that got a port on like
It got an HD re-release, yeah.
Yeah. Is that game any good? Because I have very little interest in Lords of Shadow, but
Well, Lords of Shadow is basically a God of War clone. That's really good by God of War clone standards. Mirror of Fate tries to take those gameplay mechanics and turn it into a 2D platformer kind of deal, and I don't really feel like it's a very good combination. But it's not unfun to play, but it's kind of the chain of memories of the series, and in the sense that it explains all this important plot stuff that leads up to the second game as a very obviously budget handheld title that doesn't measure up to the main series in the slightest, and I really don't like that kind of sequel.
It's the only sort of visual critique I have with the Lords of Shadow continuity so far. I haven't played them fully as of this video. I plan on to at some point, but it's just a whole lot of substance with no style, which is what I think I miss the most with the old school Castlevania.
Well, as I understand it, they don't mean to make Lords of Shadow the main Castlevania series anyway, so I'm not.
It might as well be, considering.
they
Well,
haven't
they
touched
haven't done
Castlevania since in 5 years or more.
Well, the last thing they did with main series Castlevania was Harmony of Despair, so I'm not sure.
I wouldn't even count that, because that's just a rehash of everything that was previously.
It's using old assets to make a multiplayer game, and it's good for what it is, but it's not a full series game.
I would say Order of Ecclesia, 2008.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, I really loved Order of Ecclesia. Great game. But I think the last I heard, Lords of Shadow 2 is meant to be the end of the Lords of Shadow continuity. So whatever they do with Castlevania after that, well, we'll see.
Well, it's just I'm surprised though. You guys are you Metroidvania fans are lucky that 8-bit, not sprite-tastic Metroidvanias are a really common indie game kind of thing to do to fill that itch. Because Metroidvania and Castlevania, Metroid and Castlevania themselves have been kind of left out to dry for a while. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, now that I think about it, it's not like we're hurting for game projects that fill our particular niche. Like, we didn't have to wait 20 years for someone to make a Freedom Planet. we just kind of got more of our kinds of games as time went on.
Yeah, the genre is still booming. It's just that the flagship franchises that are responsible for creating that genre, or at the very least naming the genre, haven't been getting any real action for a while now. It's a bit odd.
It's kind of like if we went like, it's kind of like if we went 7 years without a Mario platformer, or
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what happened for a little while anyway.
well, yeah, true. Like there was a pretty long time without a 2D Mario, but
Yeah, like New Super Mario Brothers for the DS was like the first 2D Mario game since. Some would say Yoshi's Island. I'd say Mario World because that's more Mario than Yoshi's Island.
Can I just say that this whole clock area we were ignoring that whole time looked really tedious, and I'm glad we had a tangent to cover it with.
yeah, it's okay. Here's the thing: the game's a little bit more tense if you're really good at it. Because at any point, like if you're good enough to the point where you can get through entire levels with like a 10 combo, and you've got like 800 beats on you, and if you make one mistake, then you lose all of them. Then sections like that get really, really tense because you risk accidentally touching the ground and ending your streak early, or even worse, getting hit by an enemy and then losing that progress altogether. But when you're not quite that good, like I am, like I think I'm all right at this game. I'm not, but I'm definitely not like God tier. Then it becomes, when you've already made a couple of mistakes, it becomes a lot more annoying. Yes.
Yeah, the bane of high-ranked players everywhere. If you're intentionally going for like an all-A rank in, say, Sonic Adventure, for lack of a better comparison.
Well, do people like do runs of the story mode where they're trying to get all A ranks? Because like most of the time, if I'm going for a score if I'm going for A ranks in like Adventure 2 or something, I just go to the stage select menu.
Well, it does sort of depend on what game you're playing, on whether you're playing it without upgrades from the start, because some of the A ranks and S ranks in Sonic games depend on you having certain moves, and those moves aren't necessarily available from a new game.
I don't think it's possible to A rank Metal Harbor without starting the level with the Lightspeed Dash, because there's shortcuts you need at the beginning of the level with the Lightspeed Dash before you would have gotten it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So close.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't take any damage during the boss. But, you know, I wasn't quite up to snuff during the level, so, you know, not that big of a deal. It is really fun watching the tree get filled up with bananas, though. It's
Gold? Bullshit.
Aw, I only got first place. I should have gotten 0th place. Wait. That doesn't sound nearly as good as what I
Should
thought.
have gotten negative place. I am both first and not.
Lychee Kingdom.
Yeah.
We're gonna go visit Booby Lady.
What?
Easy there, DK.
I guess you guys don't play Blaze Blue, do you?
I play Blaze Blue. I just oh wait, that's Totaka or something like that, or that cat girl.
Lychee Fei Ling is the one that
the big boob lady.
Yeah. That
Okay, this is a
Totaka calls
fighting
Booby
game.
Lady.
There's like 12 big boob ladies.
well, no. Talkaka is this cat person thing who has nicknames for everyone, and they're all really simple nicknames. She calls the protagonist Good Guy, and Lychee is Booby Lady. So yeah.
Huh.
And the moe chick with really small boobs is Lacking Lady.
What?
Yeah,
Rude
that would be
much.
that would be Noelle Vermillion, a character I don't really like because she's pretty much just moe bait.
So wait a minute. Let's get a thing clear here. If I recall correctly, the developers of Blaze Blue are the same people who made Guilty Gear.
Yes, Arc System Works, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Persona 4 Arena.
We can assume that the cat girl was also responsible for naming Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. How else would you explain that simplistic last name?
Wait, they named the bad guy's name.
One of the guys in Guilty Gear is Soul Bad Guy. His last name is Bad Guy.
Oh, okay,
Alright.
that's not as bad as in Ace Attorney, where one of the victims is named Dead Man.
Yeah, but those are intentional puns. I don't think this is intentional. That's just fucking lazy.
Oh, well, when Arc System Works isn't tied down to being somewhat sensible like they are in the Persona 4 Arena games, they do some weird shit.
It's odd that Persona has to be what's considered sensible.
Yeah, Persona's the straight man.
Well, Persona is weird in the sense that it has a lot of illogical shit going on, but the actual characters are very normal.
Yeah, for the most part that's true, except for, you know, the teddy bears and the pop star lady.
The pop star. Wait, what? What's not normal about her? I mean,
Rise,
sure.
the fact that Rise is just sort of like hanging around with them, I guess.
She spends the entire game on hiatus because that's how she comes to town in the first place. She's tired of being a pop star.
Then why make her a pop star?
So that she can have the awkward stripper dance.
Well, I would explain that, but that would involve explaining an entire month's worth of in-game plot, so let's just save it for if we actually do a Persona commentary. Oh, man. This looks like a lava level, and I can tell you right now I am terrified of actually playing this with bongos.
It is the last level, the last couple levels in the game, so they are getting harder. Although for some reason the music's really upbeat and cheery, which I enjoy. It's really, again, any like sort of platforming over pits is pretty simple. Again, because they expected you to do it with bongos, and by this point in the game, I think you probably would have gotten pretty used to them. I think.
Well, these are the worlds that unlock after you quote complete the game unquote.
Yeah.
Although, what do you guys feel about that sort of design? Because I always found my 8-year-old self back in like late 90s and stuff. I always found that fascinating. Like, ooh, like the secret world. That must mean I'm really good at the game, and now they really want to prove my worth. Like,
it's a little too common these days, and I feel like it becomes an issue when games are designed that way, specifically that pad themselves out by reusing content. So I appreciate it more when the I guess you could say new content is in fact new content and not just forgive me for saying this, and not just a castle that's turned upside down or that kind of thing. Like Order of Ecclesia is actually a good example because the entire good ending content is a new area that you haven't played through already. It's Dracula's castle.
Yeah. After shamelessly rehashing a few areas beforehand already.
Yeah, in that case, it was the first half of the game that was somewhat weak.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, like that's something I think that's something I liked a lot more when I was a kid, because nowadays, like, I really value trying to being able to beat a game, and I'm gonna be really stupid here. I should really just land right now, and then I would have been able to get a platinum for this level. But no, I'm gonna be stupid. I'm gonna try to fight this guy in the air, and guess what? I get hit, and I lose like 400 beats. So yeah. Nowadays, I don't know. Like a lot of the times when I see like extra post-game stuff, unless if it's a game that I really, really love. Like, I'm gonna probably ignore it. Like, I've never beaten the World 9 in any of the new Super Mario games. Like, I've never beaten any of the World 9 levels in Mario Wii, for instance. And I certainly didn't beat the entire secret, whatever, second half of the level for Super Mario 3D Land. Cause fuck playing that. Right. So yeah, it's just
it's a concept that I, like similar to you, got more enjoyment of when I was younger. I bring up Croc, Legend of the Gobos. Like if you went out of your, like I went out of my way to get all those jigsaw puzzle pieces, and you beat the game normally, and then you unlock that final island, which it's cool for a kid. Because like, oh, this is it. It's like it's the secret world, and then you approach it with an older mindset, and it's like, okay, this is just rehash world number 1, rehash world number 2. This island simultaneously has a rainforest and a desert right next to each other.
I think the reward. I think the reward has to be worth it. Like, it has to be a really, really cool kind of secret level.
In Croc's case, it was more of just a congratulations, sort of. A winner is you, sort of ending.
Yeah, like, I wanna know if 8-year-old me was good enough to unlock Green Hill Zone for in SA2, like when I was that young. I want to know what my reaction to that would have been, because I didn't know that existed until I turned like 16.
Knowing 8-year-old Ted, it would have been, this level was ugly. So
No,
downgraded.
Well, no, I probably would have. No, it probably would have been, the fuck is this? Like, I don't think I really even cared about graphics. I would have just been like, I'm confused. That probably just would have been the reaction.
This is dumb. SA2's better.
It is SA2.
Shut up, 8-year-old Ted.
Hey, don't tell 8-year-old Ted what to do. I don't go telling 8-year-old John to, I don't know, do stuff.
What was I doing at age 8? I was probably watching Power Rangers.
Yeah, I don't tell you to turn that shit off. Turn that shit off, 20-year-old John.
You're doing your fake roundhouse kicks wrong.
It's Utsy Ouya, not Itsy Ouya.
Itsy bitsy spider.